Grafters, I'm JanB and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'm going to show you how I made this card, which I'm calling a split front card. So it opens like that. Okay. I shared this on my blog the other day and I had a few requests asking if I'd make a video. So this is what I'm going to be doing. The designer series paper is called Butterfly Bijou, which is on special at the moment until the 3rd of May, and that is while stocks last. But it goes with the two items we have on pre-release from the new annual catalogue that goes live on the 4th of May, and that is the Butterfly Brilliance stamp set and the Butterfly Wings dies. They're on pre-release, so they will still be available, but this, and there's a specialty paper as well that's on offer. Either check with your demonstrator, or if I'm your demonstrator, please contact me. You should know because I've emailed everybody, but just in case I've missed you somehow, I can put that right. I've made a masculine one again with the same designer series paper, and that's got the split front and it's got the sentiment inside as well. Now the difference between the two is I've done the butterflies inside, which I wasn't particularly happy with. I mean, it goes, but it's a bit difficult where you're going to write your sentiment if you do it like that. I mean, it could be done up here, but the other difference I've made is I've put one of these to cover that bit up. It seemed like a good idea at the time, but I think I prefer it like that. Although, on this one, if I did it, I could put another white piece and then write the sentiment up there. So when the card is standing up, the sentiment will, the greeting would be hidden. But this one, the greeting could be written on there quite easily, and it would still be hidden when this is standing on the shelf. So I'm going to tell you the card pieces that we need. I'm still using this piece of designer series paper, but I'm using the bit that's further down because it's really very, very pink. And my colour is going to be Magenta Madness, which is one of the last year's in colours. I'm going to give you the measurements for people who use A4 cardstock, and I'll put the measurements in the box below. I would also include the metric measurements and also the North American card makers who use a different size cardstock to us. So this piece measures 7.5 inches by 5 3/4 inches. As I say, that's Magenta Madness. You need a piece of Whisper White cardstock which measures 3 7/8 inches by 5.5 inches. You need another piece that measures 2 1/8 inches by 5.5 inches. Another piece that is 3/4 inch by 5.5 inches. So all of those Whisper White are 5.5 inches across. And then you need designer series paper. That's the one I'm going to be using on the inside, and that measures 3 3/4 inches by 5 3/8 inches. And then these are the two pieces I'm going to use on the front. As you can see, they get more and more pink as it goes down. And this one measures 2 inches by 5 3/8 inches, and this one measures 5/8 by 5 3/8 inches. Now, if you're going to take a piece, a design like this, and it's on the bottom of the sheet, which this one is, remember to cut the 3/4 inch first and then work your way up to the next bit. Otherwise, if you do that bit first and then that bit, you're going to finish up with your design looking like that. You'll have the darker bit up there and the lighter bit down there. I know, I did it. You will need a scrap of Whisper White for your image, and you will need a piece of Magenta Madness so that you can die cut number 6 from the stitched nested labels dies. Okay, so it's number 6 for the, have I done that? Yes, I have. Looked very small all of a sudden. So yes, that's number 6 to die cut that one, and then the image is going to be cut with number 5, which is that one. Okay, if you don't have the dies and you want to use a you'd need to use a rectangle, so the pink rectangle would need to be 2 1/8 inches by 3 7/8 inches, and the Whisper White would need to be 1 7/8 inches by 3 3/8 inches. Okay, so we're going to start working first of all with our cardstock, and we're going to need our trimmer. And what we are going to do is, first of all, we are going to score this at 4 1/8 inches, which is where we normally score our cards. And then we're going to move it along, and we are going to line up at the 1 inch here, and we're going to slice that bit off. Okay, that's what's going to do our split. Okay, so we can fold this in half. I'm looking around to see what I've done with my Stamparatus, and I can't see it right now. Right, so give that a nice burnish. Right, oh, I can see it. Alright, don't worry. Now one piece I want to do and get it out of my way, because if I leave it close I will do it too soon and get myself in a real pickle. So let's just adhere this piece on. This is my big piece of Design Series paper. This is what I'm calling Design 1. Okay, so if I put that on my biggest bit of Whisper White, I should actually start saying basic white cardstock, because we're not doing Whisper White anymore, although I am actually using Whisper White because I've got quite a bit of it here, and I'm going to keep on using it until it's gone. Okay, so that I'm going to move out of my way so that I don't try doing it beforehand. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my stamping, and I need this piece here. This is my scrap. When I've got pieces that are quite similar in sizes, I cut a corner off so that I know that that's my scrap piece. Right. So the stamp set this image comes from is Beautiful Moments. There's another one that's very similar to this, which is what I used for the men, the masculine card. I used that one there, and that was the image. I had to cut his legs off, but he'd already lost his leg, so I didn't think he'd mind losing his. Right, okay, so let's pop that there. I'm going to use Memento Tuxedo Black. I have already done made one of these images and coloured it and everything, but you know, I do like to do a bit of this with you, and I have actually already stamped this image because I do like my images to dry for a little bit before I start using my stamping blends. So this one's ready for another project at some other time. So that's that done. So put that over there. Move that. That can go. That can go. And this is my image that I did a little while ago. which is all nice and dry. Now the colours that I'm using, this is Light and Dark Magenta Madness. Her hair is Light Soft Suede. For the grass, I don't think I used the light one, did I? For the grass I'm using Dark Just Jade. Put that one there for the time being. This is Ivory for the skin tone, and this is Light Pool Party for the outside sky bit, and my colour lifter just in case I need it. So what I did was the hair first. With some of these parts, it's very difficult to see where one bit ends and one bit starts, like the end of the hair. It's casually drawn, shall I say. I don't want to be rude about it because they're nice drawings, but casual I think is a nice word. Sketchy even. So that's the only part that we can see of her. Now for the actual dress, I used the Light Magenta Madness. Now this really is quite a shocking pink. Not my favourite sort of pink, but as I say, I've got one over there already painted, and it can I say subdues? The colour becomes a bit subdued. Right, that's a bit of the dress, I think. Now obviously the dress is going down into the grass, so this is a bit where it's difficult to say what starts, what finishes. So this is where artistic license comes into it. Whatever you do, you can't be wrong. Okay. So I think that's about okay. Now I'm going to use the Dark Magenta Madness for the little flowers here. Now these, I mean, they could be leaves, but for me it's adding an extra bit of colour. And I try not to worry too much about it because the flowers or whatever they are incomplete. Now I won't be going over the dress to do highlights with the Dark Magenta Madness, but I will be going over it with the light in the areas I want to go. I just want to make sure there's a difference between the flowers and the dress. Now when I'm going over the light with this, I'm going to go down by these seams or the creases in the dress. Now, the first time you do this, the colouring disappears, but if you do it again it will show up, albeit very lightly. I'll do a little bit up at the top here, around the edges. Okay, so I'm going to go again where I have just been. As you know, I'm not a good colourer, but I think that my work is passable. I certainly wouldn't put myself up against going for competition against anybody for this. But I enjoy what I'm doing. At the end of the day, that is what matters. I mean, this is our hobby, so there we go. That's going to be fine for me. You probably see that I've even got some little white areas in there. So the next bit is to do the grass, and I am using dark Just Jade. And I do tend to go a bit over the dress there, but it's just where the grass is a bit thinner, so you can see the grass and the dress. That's my excuse. Okay, so bring the grass down. I don't know how far I need to come, but that's fine. And now I'm going to do the pool party around the sky. Now again, I don't know how far I've got to come out, so I'm just going to come out to the edge. There's a little bit under her arm there and there. Come down to the flowers in between. As you can see, you don't have to be precise with this. Okay, so I'm not going to finish it off now. I'm going to die cut that. I can finish the colouring later because I have already got one here that I have finished. Okay. Now what I found with this was when I did die cut this, I hadn't brought the grass down quite far enough, but that's okay. It was easy enough to go back, which is why I'm quite happy to cut this, because I can go back and cut the bits, colour the bits that I've missed. Okay, so is that all I need? You will need to cut one of those if you haven't done it already. So yes, that's all I need really. So let's do that. That's going to be number 5. Right. As you know, I use my Big Shot because I have my magnetic plate here. And as you can see, I've treated myself to some new plates today. Anybody else get upset when they see the first cut going onto new plates? There we go. It looks as if the grass is okay. Oh no, I've left a little bit there. That looks straight. Let's just pop that through. Oh, there we go. See, I need to finish off the grass there and there. Let's move those two out of the way. Right. So that one I need to save till later. Let's put that with that one. Now I'm going to adhere this onto here. The interesting bit really comes to when we are ready to do the sentiment. I don't know if you watched last week's video, which was the iris folding with ribbons. I cannot believe that I allowed myself to struggle so much trying to get that piece of holding the cardstock still. Some people recommended that I use washi tape. Somebody recommended the Stampin', which would have been fantastic. But I just don't know where my brain was last week. But it's with me this week, and I'm going to show you how I should have used the other one. Right, let's just put these two together as well. I have to make sure that I get this up the right way as well. Let's do these two. That looks a little bit rough. Is that straight? Yes, I think so. Let me just see if I can cut those little bits off. Thank goodness for sharp scissors. That is just flattening down the edge because that looks as if it was... Some of these sides were cut from this side and the others were cut from that side. So I'm just flattening the bits, the sticky up bits. Okay. Now, which bit did I do next? I don't think it was that, was it? I think it was this bit here. That's right. So which way round does this go? There we go. So I'm going to put this bit on here first. Oh, I hope I didn't put my ruler away. Yes, I did. The measurements allow for 1/4 inch gap round from the white to the pink. Okay, so then that's going to be coming down here on my pink bit. Oh, here it is. Let's put that up, pop that on. There we go. Make sure that's straight. Yep, I think so. Okay, so that's going to be going on there. Now, the way I do it to put this on so that I make sure that it's in the right place and, more importantly, that it is actually straight. I'm just going to rest that in there because it's easier to see this bit. And this is also where I thought I would use my Stampin. Okay. I've got a nice clean sheet underneath here. So let's see, what do I do? I put that one in there first. Doesn't matter positioning there, it's only to allow us to actually see where the pink is on here. So make sure you're nice and tight in the corner. And one of the beauties, and there are lots of the Stampin', is the fact that these two sides are open. Okay, you've got the hinges there, but you've got the open side here. If I can reach for my ruler, I can use my big ruler and I can use it for measuring because this is opened. If I want to, I can turn it around and do it this side as well. That's just one of the reasons why our stamp positioner, blows all others out of the water. Now, next thing you need to do, making sure you've got this up the right way, which I have, because that's butterfly is 1, and that's 1. Line this up with your corners there, where you need it to go. And then once you're happy, you've got that precisely right. Now, one of the reasons I said to you, why I said to you to have this card piece as 1 and then cut the inch off is because by doing it like that, you're making sure that this width of the pink is exactly the same as that pink. Whereas if you'd cut this one separately, you could have had it a tad longer, tad shorter. So that was the reasoning behind that. So let me just double check that again. Right, so I'm going to put this about here. In fact, I turned you sideways, that's right. And I want this to come out about an inch. So I used my pencil with my ruler. And that was before I had a tripod sitting by the side of me. And I am going to make a mark on the white at an inch. Don't need that there at the moment. Okay, so it's coming in an inch, and I need this one to come in an inch as well. Again, I'm doing this on the white. But let's turn that sideways for the time being. Now, if I use these 2 1-inch marks, then I know my piece of card is going to be upright, which, as you know, is one of my big struggles, getting things straight. I just made sure that that's still straight, it hasn't moved. It has, big time. Okay, so just double check that. In fact, that one's moved as well. There we go. So what I'm going to do is I want this to line up with my 1-inch marks, but when I actually glue it down, I'm going to move this over slightly just to cover those marks up, rather than trying to erase them when they're in an awkward position there with the edges of those, the design series paper and the cardstock. So if this is the same as last time, the point on that and the point on that, they both come off onto the white bit. So I need my glue to come where that corner is and that corner. So that's my first bit with my Tombow, from corner to corner there. Okay, and then I'm going to pop this down, just covering that one up, just covering that pencil mark up, making sure my point comes down. Well, that didn't move earlier on. Right, let's go back there and there. Right, that is going to be straight. Does that look straight from where you are? I hope so. Right, now I'm going to take that one off, and did I make pencil marks there before? Second time? No, I didn't. So I just sort of eyeballed this. So I'm going to do my glue from about here. I know that I've got at least 3/4 of an inch gap, because that's the amount that I cut off for the cardstock. But the last thing you want to do is take glue too low down so you seal your card closed. Okay, now you must make sure that you line this bit up correctly again. So I'm going to line that one up and then hold my finger on it, and then this one, hold that, and no, there we go. I blame the fingernails. I don't wear these all week, I only put them on for the video, which means I'm not really used to them, and then all of a sudden these long things start getting in my way. So there we go. Okay, is that straight? Let's move that piece out of the way. It doesn't look straight to me, but it must be. Does that look straight? It does look straight like that. Right, okay, we're going to assume that it is. Now, we want to get the sentiment on here. So what you need to do now is position this where you're going to want it to go. Close this and draw. Okay, so now I know that my sentiment's got to go into that rectangle there. Move that out of the way. Let's do this up first. And I haven't prepared this ahead of time. This is what I did when I did the masculine card. I put my two stamps next to each other. And I just want to use that one now. So take that off. I did clean this, so let's take that one off as well. Clear myself a space. Bring this down a bit further. Now what can you see from there? Let me see. I'm going to pop that in there. I'll make sure that's clean. Yes, it is. Okay, so I'm going to put that like that. Now I need to know whether it's straight or not, so I'm going to move this out. And I know that this is going to be okay because I know this is right in the corner. So once I'm happy that this is straight by stamping on here, then I can put that back in and do it. So let's have a go, let's see what happens. Right, so that's going too close to that. Can you? No, you can't see me. Right, I need this to move further away. Okay, because I need it to come down to the end. I'm just going to move it a little bit. See what happens with that. Nope, that's not enough. Let's see if that's moved it. Oh, that's too much, I'm sure. Oh, maybe not. Let's try that again. Yes, it is. That's looking better. This is what I do. I just keep on practicing on my grid paper until I'm happy it's straight. Oh. That is certainly straight enough for me. So let's bring this back and just have a look. Just tip this up. Yes, that looks good. And where I'm sitting, that's perfect. Does it look straight from where you are? Because you've got a much better view than me. You're straight onto it. Okay, that's dark enough. Let's move that out of the way. I'm not going to try erasing that just for a minute. I'll put it onto my card first. Oh, cover my ink. I'm going to use some Tombow. There we go. Just make sure you put this in up the right way. That's not straight. There we go. Yes, that's good. I'm happy with that. So let me just use my eraser to move those pencil marks. Obviously, if you don't have a stamp apparatus, well, first of all, I'd seriously think about getting one. But otherwise, I would use something like washi tape. Hold your work in place. There we go. For this one, I would write my greeting up here, I think. I'm not sure that I want to put another piece on there. But there we go. That's today's project. I have to say, I am pleased with that. Oh, I know what I've forgotten to do. Can I reach that? Let me have a look. I get up, almost kiss the camera. And that was, I used Wink of Stella for the dress. This Wink of Stella is really gorgeous. It makes so much difference to a card. But I'm so disappointed it never, well, occasionally it does, but it doesn't always show up on my photographs. Mind you, I'm not a photographer. Sometimes I really do struggle with my photographs. I have to get my hubby in to find out what I'm doing wrong. The colours are just absolutely diabolical. There we go. Did I colour anything else on here? Oh, I know I put some gems on. The gems on there are the little white hearts. They're called resin embellishments. They come in a packet of white and red. But I've done an experiment here. I don't know whether this is working. These are our wonderful gems, which are red and clear, and they've got gold on them. And I painted 3 of them before I started videoing using my marker pens. So let's have a look to see if, whoops, see if these go okay. Do I want them on there? Let's put them with here, I think. It looks like the colour has dried. In fact, I really quite like that. So put one on her belt? No. Put one there. No, that's on top of the flower, don't do that. There we go, that's better. So there we go, what do you think of that? That's worked well, hasn't it? Pleased with that. Okay, so there we go, that's today's project. I hope you like it, and not forgetting the men as well. That would make a great Father's Day card as well, that one. So many thanks for joining me today. As I said, I will put the measurements in the box below the video, and that will be inches for people who use A4, inches for people who use American size cardstock, and also metric for the A4 users. I'll also put all the ingredients that I've used, all the products that I've used in the box below, and there will be also a link to my 24/7 online Stampin' Up shop. If you have any comments or any questions, please leave those in the box below. I do try and answer everybody, even if it's only to say thank you for the comments that you make. But if you do ask a question, I do answer them. If you've enjoyed my video, and I've been told that YouTube don't send out notifications now that when somebody's posted a video, but when you subscribe down there on the bottom right hand corner, if there's a bell by the side of it, tick it. You may not start getting notifications now, but eventually YouTube will start again, I'm sure, so at least tick that. And do check out with your demonstrator the butterfly bouquet promotion at the moment, because it really is gorgeous. Let me very quickly show you some cards I've already made using this set, because I've made quite a lot. I made this one, which is the biggest butterfly, and I used one of the butterflies, one of the other ones, and I sponged over it to give me the background there. Okay. Oh, that was the one that I'd used. That's why that one's all green. So that was one card. This was a birthday card that I made. And this was a video, a pop-up. Okay, so if you haven't seen that, you might like to check it out. This is another one of the video. Okay. This, honestly, I am really bowled over by this set. This is another one that I made showed on my video, which is this little frame thing with the butterfly there. I haven't decided how I'm decorating the inside of that. This is last week's video with the ribbons. Okay, and that was the one that I actually made on the video. Satin ribbon looks better because you've got the two different colours on it. And this was a couple of days ago, I think. But honestly, it was such a beautiful set. If you haven't seen it, ask your demonstrator about it. It's really lovely. Anyway, that's it for this week. Many thanks for joining me. Please take care, stay safe, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Cheerio!